YTBC, what's the deal? So, the big news we were all waiting for over the weekend is Robert Helenius has announced he's fighting Johann Duhaupas. Now, Duhaupas, some of you remember, he just fought Deontay Wilder some months back here in Alabama. Um, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and just first let me go ahead and turn this fight down. I'm watching the Robert Helenius France Real, and I'm also watching Wilder versus Johann Duhaupas. Just looking at some fights, man, trying to break this down. Um, I'm gonna just do a prediction. I think Robert Helenius is going to win this fight. The fight is April 2nd. It is for the WBC silver title. It's in Finland, so it's a home fight for Robert Helenius. I think he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to stay undefeated. Now, there are some things Johann Duhaupas can do in this fight to win the fight. It's not a fight that he absolutely can't win. I mean, Duhaupas is a guy that's, he's tough, man. He has a good chin. Went the distance with Char, went the distance with Erkin Tepper, who's, also known to be a hard puncher. He went 11 rounds with Deontay Wilder. For the fight got stopped. He sustained a big, huge cut over his nose, busted up Deontay Wilder's eye. He's a tough guy, man. He just won a few days back here. He just beat who did he just beat? Marcelo Nascimento. He just won that fight in a shutout. So, he does bring size into the ring. Both these guys are going to be it's going to be a typical big man fight. So for some of you, it may be a boring fight. I think Helenius is 6'7". He fights like he's 6'7". He fights straight up and tall. And even when he was fighting Sam Peter, walking him down with the jab and right hand, the France Real fight, the same thing. I mean, he fights like you have to crowd his space, a la Derek Chisora, back him up. Johann Duhaupas is more dynamic of a fighter. I think he moves his head a lot better. I think his footwork coming forward is, if not equal, a little bit better. I think his overall defense is better. I just think Helenius has a better jab. I think he controls the distance of fights a little bit better. I think he has more power. And I think once they start to exchange, I think Duhaupas, as tough as he is, will just put up the high guard, let Helenius get off, and then he'll try to come back with his shots. And I think Helenius will be able to take his shots just as well as Duhaupas will be able to take his. I'm watching these fights, man. And Duhaupas, I think his best way is he's gonna have to work his way inside of Helenius's jab and get inside and rough it up like that. It's usually, a lot of these big guys don't like fighting on the inside, but I think he'll do his best justice working on the inside, keeping his head under Helenius's his chin. Like I said, Helenius likes to fight upright, and all the fights I'm sitting here watching, he likes to fight upright. He's not a big guy that likes to bend at the waist. He just relies on having a tough ass chin and just kind of rolling with punches, but barely does he really bend like that, man. Duhaupas, like I said, is more dynamic of a defensive fighter, moves his head, can roll with shots. He can show you different looks, but I just think it's going to be two big guys in there, both using their jab. There's going to be a lot of clinching and holding. It may be a little raggedy looking at times, but I think it's going to be a fight that it's going to be a battle of attrition. And I think Robert Helenius, just with his size and his output with his jab, and he'll land a cleaner, harder shots. I do think Duhaupas will get his work in, but it will be muffled by, hitting Helenius on his arms and elbows and being tied up. That's what I think is going to happen in this fight. I thought this news would be a little bit bigger than this. I was probably thinking Duhaupas maybe gets a title shot. Or not Duhaupas, I'm sorry, but I was thinking that Helenius would get a title shot with Charles Martin, being that Helenius is rated in the top 15 of the IBF. Thought maybe a title shot. There was rumors of, some people were saying maybe that he will fill in for Luis Ortiz's opponent on March 5th, but that fight has been already filled in. Tony Thompson, a fight that I was pushing for. I'm going to do a video on that, but just my prediction on this, Robert Helenius versus Johann Duhaupas, April 2nd. I'm going to go with Robert Helenius I'm going to go unanimous decision. 116, 112 type of fight, but the judges might give it to him, 118, 110, that type of score. But Robert Helenius by decision. YTBC, I'm out.